So, here's hoping that we're actually back up and running in some manner or other here. So yeah, I don't know if it's quite going just yet. Testing it out right now. I wish it would update the little notification thingy on my phone here. Alright, are we up and going? Okay, it is not showing visuals. Okay, hang on. I was trying to do it a different way because I have a bit of a theory here, and I hope I'm wrong on this. But alright. So, let's go ahead and get this sucker live, and there we are. We should have good visuals going now. Any second now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I hope I'm wrong on this, but I believe there may possibly be a thing where maybe it's overtaxing the video card or something like that, which I would have assumed would have just crashed it and that's it. But it causes my entire computer to crash, so I don't know what that's all about. Oh, it had potatoes in it this time. Okay, we got a stick, we got a potato. It's good times. Alright, what was the party up to? Doing mostly alive type things. In fact, I think one more blob fight and then we should go back and maybe pick up some more folks. Go raid a forest, and then I think we might be just about ready to go attack Mr. Dude Guy. So we'll see. But anyway, so currently that's my theory, that maybe it's just storing data in some weird way, overloading something. I'm not sure, because this has never come up with anything else that I've ever tested, so I'm 99.9% certain it's something else and not my hardware, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So it does seem like mid-fight we're not really seeing that issue. It seems to be specifically on the entry screen, and I believe the overworld, though that might have been a different thing. And I know in the past there has been some stuff about it potentially storing data in some odd ways, so it might be something to look into. Also, is that new? You got like some sweet god rays coming down. That's pretty cool. I like that. Alright. Anyway, Mr. Dagar, if you're still here, I don't know how much of that actually came through, but yeah, down the line, whenever the actual update comes in to be able to change names, there will absolutely be a Dagar squad. Because I'm just kind of loving the meme of your character always ends up getting bizarrely murdered off in just completely unexpected ways. I don't know, you like the Kenny of these runs, you know? No offense. I mean that in the best manner possible. Yeah, there we go. Cadets are still doing their ranged laser sword thing. Like a little pew-pew laser sword, like just an old Link's Awakening sword. Well, not Link's Awakening. What is it? Just the original Zelda, basically. Alright, there we are. And also, I just got some pretty good news. Apparently, it looks like actually, I should probably confirm that before going on about it. Okay, well, I don't see exact confirmation, but it sounds like Tactics Ogre ended up winning that community run vote somehow. I kind of would have figured Super Robot Wars would have absolutely annihilated it, but hey, whatever. Apparently we're doing like a community run TO next, so expect to see some shenanigans from that. Oh, by the way, one thing that came up last time that I figured I might as well mention, just in case it was something that I'm not feeling overheating somewhere, I've got two separate fans going to make sure that everything's cooled off here. I'm not seeing any heat buildup or anything else, so it definitely feels like it must be some, I don't know, something unseen here that's causing those weird crashes, but hopefully that will be found in time. If it helps, the first time that it crashed, it seemed to cause OBS to delete all of its settings. So it could just be a weird interaction between those two. But yeah, that's what testing's for. That's what live testing is for. So there we go. Now that I've got an Acolyte on this team, by the way, this squad should basically always be heading up any fights that happen. Because as you can see, they take almost no damage now. So putting an Acolyte in a party pretty much boosts their defense ridiculously. The cool thing is, that, like, most of their worry as far as damage goes comes from, what's it? Why am I having a hard time explaining things today? Most of their worry about damage comes from crits. Obviously, it's not going to protect them from absolutely everything. But the nice thing is, as you can see from these rotating icons, it's actually intentional here that the different defense buffs actually do stack. So as long as that Acolyte remains active, they will continue buffing their defense over and over, but if you let them take a break at any point, their defense starts dropping down. So they've got kind of like a multi-layered thing going on. It does get a bit difficult to crack through that, so I'm curious if there's actually been some counters introduced. But yeah, so we'll see how that goes. As per usual, by the way, if you have any questions whatsoever, just drop them in there. You know, anything you want to see tested, anything you want to see specifically built, or anything like that. Just literally everything is fair game because it's kind of the Wild West here at the moment. Which is funny because the Wild West was not actually that wild. It was actually surprisingly tame. That always cracks me up, like the whole stereotype, like, oh yeah, people were going around having gunfights in the streets and everything, and then just like compare it with the actual rules of the time. They're like, yeah, no. If anybody's armed, here's like a big old bucket that you dump all your stuff into, or you're not coming into town. It's like, people can see you coming from really far away, so, you know, big, wide open area, you're probably gonna get seen pretty easily. Any dang ways. Just one of those ones that always kind of sticks out, you know? Surprised to see 4 people here. Yeah, the stream count is always a little bit funny to look at. This always just goes up and down constantly. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're all still here. It's like 2, 5, 8, 1, 0, negative 13, 45, just going and changing all the time. Yeah, it's all funny looking. It's almost like they don't actually have an accurate count and they're not really sure. But yeah, so these blob fights are mostly just for the sake of grinding. You do have a couple grind fights early on. As far as I've seen, you can get away with 2 or 3, and then you're basically good to go. Given that the balance is improved in the good last few, like, dozen or so patches, I will say that you can actually get away with more than you used to be able to. Like before, you kind of had to make an almost death dot kind of squad, where you have like a team of 10 and they're all working as just one unit. But at this point, that's become less viable because your sides will become exposed eventually, and those units will start getting worn down and focused on and everything else. So the safest actual spots for all your guys are right here, the 2 in the very center. So there's that. Alright. So yeah, Green's always going on about their mom, who looks a lot like Blue. And yes, I am aware they have names. I'll always mention that I'm aware they have names. Sorry. I just always like to give everyone nicknames. Alright. Yeah, I think I mentioned this last time. This game actually used to have, like, full-on nudity and all that, but, then Steam got involved and it was like, no. You can't do that, you'll offend the babies! And so, you know, that went away. I mean, it was, like, very vague, to be fair. It's like you got a vague outline of what might be a butt. So there's, you know, you do as you do. So if you notice that the undies seem like they're sticking out a little bit, that's why. Alright, so just so you know, it's loading in the forest at the moment. For some reason the forest doesn't appear to show its loading screen, or a little loading bubble. Anyway, so this is where you would go to get your different equipment for all your little tiny flying peoples. Go ahead and pick that up. I see that that's not showing up as a black square anymore, that's good. Leaf rags, bulb, and a wand. So the wand and the bulb will essentially allow for building one of them. Can I take a look at the ingredients, actually? Where are my supplies? Let's see. Virtual, yeah. So bulb, water, rune year, and yeah. So we need to get some water. We need to pick up a rune. Rune is one of the other drops you can get in these forests. You just kind of spawn in all over the place. And then there's a few like little altars or whatever that you go and you basically craft new units. So you hire all your people units, and you build everything else. So, like, you train dogs, you build skeletons, you build little fairy dudes, and all that sort of thing. So if we go to a mine, we can find some Skeletors. If we go over here, this town is kind of your crafting town. Looks like we outnumber these guys pretty... No, we don't. Yeah, fighting one of those groups, that's where you get the real loot. You know what? Feeling relatively confident. Let's go ahead and give that a go. Pop that sucker in there. And away we do. No? Away we go. We go-do, like a dodo. Which about describes what I could probably be described as myself. I love this music, though. And I hope we'll be able to get to the second area today, because that place especially is just... It's just spot on, music-wise. Really love it. So definitely, gotta say props to whoever did the music, too. Alright, let's pop these suckers over here. Yeah, it's kind of understated, but I want to reiterate again just how much of an improvement it is to have the faces kind of zoomed out. Previously, they were much more zoomed in. So at this point, you know, you kind of see the rough outline of your characters. And this seems like it would be a step in the opposite direction, but essentially with all the characters, obviously, since they're all going to be randomly generated, since they're all going to be relatively unique, like they've got different eye colors, hair colors, face structures, and all that sort of thing. When everything was zoomed in, you could see a lot of the, you know, kind of generation type of situation, where it's like, okay, you know, I can tell, you know, you're part of this template, and this template, and this template, where when it's zoomed out now, it's, you know, it basically, it just looks more natural is what I'm trying to get at. It's like, especially on the guys, you had a thing a few people mentioned, they kind of had like a sort of Ken doll looking situation to them, so you definitely don't see as much of that now, so definitely like that. Come on, dudes. So, when I was saying earlier that it was a fair bit like Total War at times, this bridge, if you've ever played Rome in particular, the bridge battles, just like this bridge brings that to mind every single time. So we're just going to go ahead and end turn. What I'm waiting for is for one of the groups to cross the bridge, then essentially just circling in right here. So I'm going to walk them up to these 3 tiles, beat the crap out of them, go attack the range support from there, and then take out any following units after that. So it looks like the first one here will just be 2 archers running up. Actually, yeah, that's the funny thing. Looks like they're going to have archers getting up close, and then they're going to have a couple of these club folks, more archers, and that dog is probably the scariest thing in this particular group. So the idea is you want to isolate them on the bridge as much as possible. And all that sort of thing. By the way, would anyone be able and or willing to tell me if the sound is coming through okay? Would be good information to have. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with these guys so that they get their defense buff up. They should be able to get all of their moves. Yeah, I guess they didn't. That's fine. Both attacks went towards one unit. That's perfectly fine. They're all protected now. So there we go. We got a promotion out of that. I kind of feel like maybe instead of level up, it should be called promotion. Maybe. I don't know. That's just more a personal preference, though. What do you guys think? I have a feeling we don't have any folks that feel like typing this time. That happens. That happens. So you can hear the music and sound effects fine. Good. Yeah, it's always hard to tell on my end. It's like, I don't know if you saw the little audio or whatever bars up earlier. But like oh crap, that guy might die now. And he's dead. Okay, well bye, dude. I think he might have just leveled up too. I mean, I told that lady everybody's gonna be totally fine and there's nothing to worry about whatsoever. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. At this point, the safest bet is just have the very defensive squad run up over here, plug up the bridge, Was that the cadet that died? No, I think cadet's over here. Yeah, the cadet's up there. So we're gonna do that. These guys are gonna go ambush these club folks, because they're trying to cross the river right now. And these ones should have a ranged attack. Why aren't they able to attack ranged? Oh, it's because I made her into a mender. Right. Okay, so they're just gonna go and sit over here, assist in that whole ambushing thing, and gonna have this squad just kind of push up through the bridge. A little death never hurt anybody. Yeah, true. I mean, some days, like, kind of depends on what religion you subscribe to, I guess. It's like, oh, what were you up to today? Oh, you know, I just kind of fell into a wood chipper and reincarnated as an eagle, so that was pretty sweet. But obviously, not recommended to fall into a wood chipper to reincarnate as an eagle. One of those things that you probably don't want to do with your day. Results are not guaranteed and all that sort of thing. Alright, I'm actually going to have the squad turn this way. That's not what I meant to do, actually. I should have had them turn backwards so that everybody's attacking that acolyte, because their defense is pretty redonkulous. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those two right there. They should be able to... yeah, they should be able to encircle that. Probably going to have the fairy squad attack first, because green and blue are in there, and they're going to be a little bit tougher than the others. Because they've got protagonist rights and all that sort of thing. Never underestimate protagonist rights. Gives you the ability to wear plot armor at all times. Though, funnily enough, it's more a hole in the plot armor in this case, because what it essentially means is you have 3 potential chances for instant game over if they die. So you want to keep them relatively safe, though they are still probably next to the wolves, your best unit. It does seem like, even in this patch, the wolves are still crazy strong, which, you know, they should be. I will say they do feel a little bit tanky, but that being said, they are also pretty difficult to get more of. I think I probably worded that completely wrong, but whatever. This is risky. You know what? I'm gonna have them pull back, unless they're just gonna get shot 5 times if they run out here. So yeah, we're gonna have them pull back and buff, I think. And that way. Yeah, they're gonna get healed up, they're gonna buff. And we're gonna have them face this way. Hopefully the archers will just attack the acolyte. These guys should take all 3 of their moves and move up here, and then these ones will probably move up to support. Probably not have enough range, and then it'll be possible to attack the doggo squad, as it were. The AI obviously is not terribly advanced at this point, but it does actually still do a pretty competent job just because of the party layouts. It doesn't even have to be that complicated. Which is one of those things that definitely has me excited for down the line. Just because there's a lot of potential really cool stuff that you can do with just the party layouts alone. Since I think there's like 20-something classes, something like that. So, even just on that, if you just give the right mix of different reaction abilities and different specializations and all that sort of thing. Oh, and one thing that got asked last time, that I actually wondered myself for quite a bit there, the whole term there of send in the clowns, apparently it is a reference to an old poem. I think they said it was like an old poem from the Renaissance or some such. I think I vaguely recognized the name when they told me about it. I don't remember the name of it right now. Hopefully I'll be around to respond what that is. Yeah, even a wolf just completely tanking that like nothing. So as you can see, definitely doing a lot better on the whole leveling up thing when there's less than a couple rounds per. Whoa! Goodbye, stuff on my desk. Goodbye. Yeah, they keep picking on Pink over there. Like, dude, they're triple buffed right now. Their defense is redonkulous, and they just have arrows completely bouncing off their force field. It's fine. They tried. They tried. Okay, that dude got 8. And hopefully this group can now finish them off. Come on. It does feel like from the back they should have at least an accuracy bonus. You know, because they're kind of kneeling and on the ground and getting attacked from the back. But I don't know what the plan is for that. Plus, it would, once again, kind of dissuade the whole death dot strategy. Now this squad looks like they're starting to get double and triple promoted over there. That's the nice thing about getting access to buff units and things like that. You can pile a bunch of units in there, like especially crappy ones. And as long as they keep getting all their defensive buffs and everything else, you can have a bunch of just absolute rookies running up, and even though they may not be doing very much or hitting very much, they will still be leveling up pretty quickly. Kind of like a sort of, I guess, less gamey version of what ends up happening, like let's say in the old TO games, wherein you would just automatically get 100 XP if you ended up attacking somebody that was a big enough level away from you. In this case, everyone's just kind of always getting the same amount, but they're always getting it, as long as they took their action, so... I don't know, I kind of prefer that method, to be totally honest. And these guys are doing a pretty good job of blocking on account of having shields, or at least that one guy is. Alright. Seems like the dog is pretty weak to lasers. And laser beam swords. Oh, and by the way, some of those random skills that I mentioned earlier, there's actually ones that kind of go between different classes. I definitely should have mentioned this earlier. Like, for example, if you got a bunch of hunters, I think it was either hunters or foresters or something like that. One of their abilities is that they raise the leadership score of any wolves in the party. So, for example, if there's a wolf as a leader, like I'm doing for that one group, they will essentially be able to lead more units because they're all following that wolf. If you've got a knight, they're able to improve on some of the stats of any cadets. Those laser sword guys. So they're able to go in and, you know, kind of have specifically a class that's able to do a bit more just because they're leading them as a team. I forget, it was like experience bonuses or attack bonuses or something like that. Which, point being, the idea was, you know, the knights lead the cadets, which in this case, you know, they're kind of like a laser sword dealie, but hey, you know, the names make sense. Presumably they have to train with lasers and then they get the real thing. I don't know for sure, to be totally honest, but either way, I like that there's what is basically a Jedi class. So, works out. As far as actually promoting somebody into a knight, though, that's the point at which they start getting really, really, really ridiculously strong. So, like, I know in one of the patches they were just nigh invulnerable to a lot of things. I'm pretty sure that must have gotten nerfed by now, but yeah. Oh, hello there, Mr. Dagar. I actually didn't know you had a kid, too. Huh, how about that? But yeah, my kiddos are currently napping for a good bit. Got the old baby monitor going and everything. Until it starts beeping. So if you suddenly hear an angry beep beep, it's telling me that I need to go plug it in some more, but it's showing like 70% battery right now, so we shouldn't have loud angry beeping. Alright. And I'm looking around here, even though clearly I need to just be sending this team in. Alright, so they're gonna go there. Hopefully be able to ambush these archers before they get absolutely owned. Okay, good. Wolf's gone. Petar's gone. Yeah, okay, yeah, if there's a Peter in the crowd, yeah, goodbye. In that case, we just did a service here. That's funny. His name's Jamie, kind of looks like Jamie Lannister. Alright, so we just ended Game of Thrones, possibly in the darkest manner possible, very early. I don't actually know if he's still supposed to be a good guy or bad guy or whatnot. He's just like, just an old guy that's sick of everything going wrong at this point in the show. Alright, so yeah, it seems like my confidence was not misplaced. These guys are continuing to attack their targets and not noticing that they're being encircled. That is one aspect of the AI that I actually really like, because honestly it gets a little bit annoying sometimes when you're going and you're playing and it's like, oh yeah, no, I automatically know everything going on. You know, you don't necessarily want to see that. There we go. That's the bridge clear, and that leaves the way for these guys to go and get rid of these archers, and then we should be done here. Is it good or bad? The bad characters are boring and someone's dancing on the edge is the most interesting? Agreed. Though, to be fair, it's kind of funny. It's funny how they did that with him in particular, though. Like, where they have a situation where the guy opens up the show, literally frickin' kicking a kid out a window, because he's busy having, you know, incest bangings and, you know, basically in the kid's house. Proceeds to get all rapey over the course of the show. And then proceeds to just be a massive dick for a while, and then still they manage to make the guy likable. Like, dang, that is some good writing right there. Like, crap, normally there's no way anyone's liking that guy. Alright, so there we go. That guy's up, them folks are up, and these two aren't quite getting the hint to run away. Like, they're trying to run. It actually would be interesting to kind of see a Total War-esque mechanic, wherein after a while they just, like, break and run away. That would be nice to see some self-preservation from these randos. And, yeah, you basically... you yourself actually do have the option of leaving any fight whenever you want to. So if you go back to the retreat tiles, it doesn't quite work like the TOPSP, for example. So you can't just push a button like, no, I just magically retreated now. But there's a few tiles off in the back here. Presumably in the future they will be, you know, colored differently or something else instead of just saying retreat. But yeah, you basically can go and get one squad out per turn, or rather per tile per turn. So so there's that option. But it would be cool to. By the way, if you leave, you don't just lose. You basically get whatever loot you got during the fight. And if you go back to the overworld, the squad that you attacked will still be there. They will still be in the same condition you left. So if you're ever having trouble, you can actually do like a full-on like guerrilla warfare kind of thing with them. I think I was doing that in the first testing run too. Yeah, those guys are toast. I might as well let that squad finish them off because I can't get anybody else in range. And they've got a few that are ready to level up. So that's nice. I still like to think of it as a promotion, though. Can't not see level ups as promotions now. Thanks, XCOM, you ruined me. Alright. Yeah, there was a mention a while ago that cadets need a little bit of a boost in power, and yeah, it seems they still need it. Because they have physical damage now. They used to do just magic, and they didn't do very much of it. Ooh! Okay, got a crafting recipe out of that. So everywhere you go, you can potentially get crafting recipes. And now it's time for a metric crapload of level ups. I'm going to go ahead and save that before it crashes. Which, yes, again, that crashing thing, I still think it's some weird interaction going on here. Because in like a couple months of testing it on a different type of setup, I never saw a single crash, so I don't know. Alright, let's do Cadet. Let's do Blades, because that's your kind of shtick right now. Heavy sounds fine, because they can use heavy stuff. Probably white, and let's say this, if that maybe helps them. Right, and they still get one more. So let's say more blue. I don't know what that'll do for them. Maybe they're a better cop now. Let's see, that one's white, that one's blue. Okay, perfect. So they're all blued up. Okay. This, give you this, and now they're also onto the path of laser swords. Alright, next up, got you. No pun intended there, being similar to their name. Let's see, if your squad leader dies, is there any detriments? OB had a pretty good system, that'd be if your squad leader is taken out there, the rest of the squad fights on as they are, but they're disbanded after the fight. If that is to say, if the next unit up doesn't have leadership to actually lead it, then you just get a little thing of like, okay, the squad is no longer able to be led by, you know, this unit, and then it just gets, it kicks out whoever it can't have, and then you go on from there. Alright, so I'm going to have her become an archer then. So, you may notice, my preferred way of doing this is just swapping everybody out between different classes all the time. That way they get a whole bunch of different reaction abilities and just really kind of a randomized set of training. Just because I really love to see the kinds of random stuff they can come up with. But you basically max out at 5 levels per class. So there's that. Not to mention if you can have a ranged squad that's ridiculously strong, that's pretty handy to have. And just like something like Fire Emblem, you can wind up with a situation where you're getting kind of weak level ups at times. And that's to be expected. But yeah, I don't actually have any ranged equipment for you. Let's change it back into this, I think. There we go. But yeah, OB's system was pretty solid as far as that's concerned. But in this case, it functions a little bit differently, just so that you're not losing your entire squad over the course of like a single bad crit. Okay. Yes, enraged. So this is one of those reasons why I say wolves are crazy strong. So they get enraged. They get just like flat bonuses to all of their most useful things, like blocking and melee attacking, in their card set. And on top of that, they will basically always go for a particular type of unit. So you can potentially make like an entire team of just wolves, and they will always just insta-kill the strongest unit in there. But actually getting more of them is a bit of a challenge. So there's that. Okay, there we go. Healing Burst. That's the ability I want to get on her. Can I get... Yes. Okay, so I got +1. And do I get a third one? No. But, at the same time, I do still have 2 uses of Healing Burst per round now. And we'll go ahead and give her the little pouch thing to make her heal better, so she's the best healer in the party now. Moving on, that guy is still doing his thing, you're doing your thing. Bear in mind, as far as squads go, due to the way the promotions work, you do generally end up going and redoing your squads pretty regularly. So there's that. I probably should have switched her to black there. Let's go black. Then they might never go back, har har. Okay, so they're a Grifter. They specialize in crits. Oh, should mention a cool thing here, by the way. So you may notice each of the different weapon types also has an affinity attached to it. So, for example... yeah. So, funny part is, like, having 2 daggers improves all of her stats in general, so she's getting better crit and better leadership. If I gave her this, it would reduce her leadership, pretty much knock her crit in half, but make her block a little better and improve her attack a tiny bit. But she'll generally be doing better with 2 daggers, because that's kind of her class's whole shtick. So you get different kinds of bonuses for a lot of different things. It's interesting how the scaling works, is what I'm trying to say. So sometimes weaker weapons are better on weaker classes, just because that's what they want to do. So the meaning of the colors is if you've played Tactics Ogre or something like that, the idea is kind of similar, wherein each class, well, okay, in that one it was each particular unit. In this one, it's each class has a particular affinity towards it. So Grifters are, they're basically muggers for all intents and purposes. So their color is black, for example. If they go for rogues, I think they're also black there. So any job or anything like that that has that color assigned to it will do better. Any like if you have multiple of the same job, they will get along better because their score to be in the party is lower. It takes less leadership for them to get along. So for example, if you've got a bunch of Grifters, they will take less points than, let's say, a Grifter, and I think it's like a bunch of archers that don't get along. So that's kind of the whole shtick there. You want to have matching colors in your different parties, which sounds kind of racist, but point being, that's not what's actually going on there. Just all the colors are just general affinities for how well the class in general will get along with other classes. So I want her to be a berserker, but apparently her only option is to be butt naked for that to happen. So yeah, what am I saying here? That starting dump of equipment that you get previously used to have an option for, they have this kind of harness that they wear, as well as an axe, but apparently I did not... Wait a minute, I should have an axe. I saw an axe... Yeah, I know for a fact I saw an axe drop off that last fight. Maybe I already handed it to someone. That's weird. Whatever, we'll make her a berserker later, but her leadership is, I believe, the best in the party right now. Maybe second only to that wolf. But alright. There we go. Like I said, grifters are basically muggers and dirty fighters here, so see, can make him specialize in knives and crits, as well as this. You know, let's just make him a leader as well. So he's also got a pretty good leadership score at this point. Let's go ahead and give him some knives, which will make him better at leading, I guess. Or I guess it won't do that for him. Fine, whatever. I see how it is. But his crit will go up with a mace, or whatever. He does really well with knives. So he's gonna be a squad leader now. One thing I would like to see is having their maybe having like a visual indicator of their leadership score on the building menu. Squad building menu, I should call it. Well, it's the Lance menu, but you know what I mean. Probably don't. Whatever. Anyway, so she can be a knight. She can be a mage. Goody. And you know what? It really, really wants her to be a melee fighter for some reason. So we're going to go ahead and make that happen. There we go. And we're going to give her a couple of cadets, I think. Let's give you this. And nothing says respectable knight like going in your friggin' undies, so... friggin' baller right there. Also, your equipment is going to change. Hopefully she gets... there's an ability to give like a minor... There we go. Got a healing burst. I want somebody else to hopefully get Acolyte. Ooh, Paladin. Ah, dang it, I should have gotten Paladin. Well, dang. Either way, her armor's getting switched out. Improve her healing. The cool thing about the Acolyte, they get the ability to do that free reaction healing, so they can heal on reactions, but their main turn is always used on buffs. And they can become a Cleric to be a better healer. Do that later. And there we go, Paladin. That is fine. So I'm actually going to leave her as is, except for giving her this, which will allow for some goodies, like for example, giving this chickie some actual armor. Right? Why, you know wear armor. What is your deal? Huh. Okay. That's strange. I need to get, I guess, proper heavy armor for them. Oh! Hang on, give me just one moment here. Be right back. Alright, and I'm back. Yeah, my kiddo had his nap slightly interrupted by misplacing his pacifier into his neck. That's not a cozy time. Alright. So you got blades. What else you got here? Healing? Sure. Kind of getting incongruous level ups on her. Ooh, Tinker. There we go. Wait. Ah, numbnuts, you were supposed to... There was an Acolyte on there. I could have had that one chick go and be something that is not an Acolyte. Oh well. Whatever. So, Tinker is pretty dang good as far as the fact that it can actually equip this. Strangely enough, this apron, if I recall correctly, has some pretty darn decent stats on it. As far as what their Artifice ability does, I'm not entirely certain. I don't really know what the Tinker's whole shtick is. They just tinker with stuff in the background, I guess. I don't really know. Hopefully I can get some clarification on that. But okay, so we've got a Cadet, we've got a Forester. Let's see. Berserkers don't need clothing? Well... No, it's actually kind of a funny story about that. Do you know the actual story of why the hell they were called Berserkers? Like, the whole deal behind that? Because it wasn't because they were actually naked. It's like, apparently there was a similar thing to, like, I think it was like Old Norwegian or something like that. And it was a similar thing to English, wherein they had very similar words for, like, bear, like the animal bear, and then, like bare-skinned. As well as there were a few random stories of random naked people, so people just kind of assumed, like, oh yeah, there were these crazy naked people. Whereas the actual term was just like, here's this guy that is basically like a bodyguard slash stand-in prize fighter for somebody else. So like if two kings wanted to go have it out, but they didn't want to have a war, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have my guy fight your guy, and whoever wins, you know, goes and gets this farm or whatever. You want to enter looted wagon. Huh, okay. Why did they loot those potatoes? They are good potatoes. Alright, Glenshire. I think that's the objective town here. Okay. Let's go into this forest here, see if we can maybe potentially get a good drop out of it. Move on from there. But yeah, so generally speaking, there was a bit of conflict as far as the actual descriptions. So, like, typically they were saying, in some cases they were saying, yeah, they were rewarded for winning fights with bear pelts and just really liked wearing them. Did we get the rune? Nah, didn't get the rune. Oh well, it's fine. I'm sure we'll spawn another forest at some point. But yeah, generally speaking, they were shown, you know, with things like mail and all that sort of thing, because, you know, Vikings. They gotta have their mail. As did friggin' everybody. Man, mail was around for such a long time that it's a funny thing. Like, just the whole story of, like, how over the last, like, maybe couple decades or so, there was this weird thing, like, oh yeah, just like, oh, mail must have sucked. It's like, dude, that thing was the friggin' global standard for, hell, what was it, like 800 years or something? Like, stuff was around for a really, really long time all over the dang world. I'm pretty sure it didn't suck. Oh, by the way, probably should have mentioned this earlier, but this got fixed, so you can zoom all the way out and get your kind of Civ 5 type of view, and don't run into the weird cloud situation from last time. Also, may notice all my dudes are kind of currently starving. I'm gonna stop and let them have a bit of a snack after raiding this forest. So yeah, gonna be doing that. Did I remember to turn the mic on? I sure hope so. Should check the button. Yeah, the button says yes. There have been a few instances now where I've gone and, like, it's just like randomly decided not to work. Yeah, arcane dust, I believe that is for skeletons? I'm not sure. You just get all kinds of different crafting ingredients. So here's what we're gonna do. That town right there is progress, but I do want to go over here, get a little bit of crafting done, because I want to make me a new little fairy type. Funnily enough, despite the fact that I know that it can be done, I haven't actually done so. Simply because up to this point, there was kind of a lack of availability as far as crafting was concerned. But now there's a lot more available, so there's this. So I love how the time of day changes. It's kind of a shame that you have to re-click to where you're going when that happens, but either way, it's nice that it happened. God, I love that coffee! Yeah, it's called Amaretto Creamer. It sounds a lot better than my coffee has nut juice in it. See, there's plenty of danger and adventure out in the wilds, true? Let's see. Be sure to bring a skinning knife, a good knife you'll leave behind. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so that's how you get those. Oh! Oh crap, that suddenly makes a lot more sense. Okay, so I had bought one of these in the previous run, and I had no idea that that's what that did. I just kind of bought one and thought it was a crafting material or something. But okay, sweet. So we get a bunch of different crafting type of stuff here. So these are just straight up upgrades to a lot of things. So let's see, coal, iron bars. Yeah, these are pretty much a tier higher than what we have, more or less. Your craftables, they're not necessarily like the gold standard or anything, but they kind of allow you to get access to some earlier stuff. Let's see. If you're drinking coffee, is that cannibalism? No, it's called delicious. That's what that is. But yeah, amaretto creamer is so dang good. Alright, let's go ahead and buy these. I want to buy that hammer, too, because those are a bit hard to come by. Let's go get rid of these ichors. By the way, the slimes, they don't drop equipment, but they do drop crafting materials, I believe, for probably making your own slimes. But they're all nice and pricey-like, so that's good stuff. Now, let's see, quartz. I don't know if I need that for anything. It would be nice if the standard was for it to always be set to 1, but it always starts out at 0. So I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell this dust because I don't know what that does. If I go over and click it over here, I would appreciate like a bigger clicking area, like maybe, see, like if I go to this, like maybe just like a drop-down stick, like yay long or so, and like you could just drag it over. Make it all big and chunky. Seems like it'd be pretty nice. So limbs I need for upgraded crossbows and that sort of thing. As far as actually buying stuff goes, I still need another 500 bucks, so... I want to sell for that. I want to keep that skinning knife, that's for sure. Well, that sucks. I can give up the ability to make one of these in order to get that hammer. Whatever. We'll pick up the hammer at a different store then. The important thing is we got that knife. That's what a cannibal would say. Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't know, because I'm just loving this coffee. It's pretty darn good. Alright, so here we have the weird mushroom thing where you go fart out some fairies. Okay, so, first off, recipe. Second off, pop this sucker, and this sucker, and we need water, don't we? Oh, and also, some of your level, that's what it was, sorry, I'm an idiot. So Tinkers, right. They can make mechanical devices while crafting, so they are one of the few that actually get level ups in terms of, in terms of actually having some Tinker skill. So, you know, that could be seen as kind of MMO-esque. It could also be seen as... Ooh, Pumpkinhead. Ooh, wolf. I want that wolf. Wolf. Let's get like 20 of them suckers. I don't think I need this yet. I might. We'll see, but hang on. What do I need for wolf? I need that stick, I need a wood carving, and I need a ear. Well, for the time being, do this. I only intend to get one of these at the moment. So... Bam, 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 bam. What am I missing? So you need... Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? Cool. In that case, I have what I need right here. Hello, Mr. Wallace. In that case, take this stupid thing. I'm sure it's all important, and I probably need one, but screw it. Oh, we even have 2 of them, yeah, so in that case we just made some friggin' bank. Give me one of them. Yeah, I think there's only one available anyway, so let's go ahead and get that. Go ahead and get a wolf. Wait, what does that need, first of all? Okay, just a wooden carving, which we don't have any wooden carvings at this point. That's fine, and then for water, just in case I need more later, let me just get a whole bunch of that. Now, let's go craft one of these things. See, the fact that after 30 minutes of stream I still have no idea what we're trying to achieve says that it's a good game. Yeah, to be fair, it's kind of a free roam kind of situation. It does free roam a good bit better than a lot of other things I've seen. Okay, so, is that the right stuff? Wait, no, not that one, I need this one. There we go! Just go ahead and pop all that crap into a test tube. Got a, Larkspur. Cool, okay. Hello, Larkspur. Apparently we managed to bring them in with clothes and everything. Good job, congratulations on your lack of nudity. Speaking of, Gladiolus over here, apparently Isn't that the same name of one of the FF15 characters? I don't know. Don't have any clothes for you. Whatever. Continue enjoying the nice, pleasant breeze. Let's go ahead and redo the squads. Okay, so. Yeah, right here, for example, this is normally when it would have kicked somebody out of the squad. But I think it's because I've just moved a bunch of stuff around. But if they level up, like the higher somebody's level, the more they take to actually have in the party. Yeah, let's just go ahead and remove that entire squad. This one's all pretty much good to go. This one could use one more. We've already got a healer. No, they need a healer, actually. Alright, in that case, take her. She's basically the best healer we got. And I just love that the wolf's the leader. Okay, you get out. You, are you the one with the amazing leadership score? No. You get out. Are you... What about you? Get your window out of here. No, you've got 5. Who the hell was it that had 9? Is that you? Get your window. No, she's got 4 also. Hang on. What about you? Holy crap, yeah, you're qualified. Okay, she's got 12. So we'll go ahead and make her the leader of just the death dot. Okay, Grifter, you go up front. Actually, it makes no sense to make them go up front. Doesn't matter. There we are. That's looking pretty okay. Everyone's just about maxed out here. Kinda, sorta. The nakedest of nights. I mean, to be fair, a lot of people do spend nights naked, so maybe they just misunderstood. It's a common mistake. Alright. Now back to business. So... No. Do not exit. Return to game. There we go. Okay. So now that we have more dudes and more stuff going on, can I... Yeah, if I could buy a wood carving, I would just get like 20 dogs right now. But as far as I'm aware, wood carvings are actually just a drop you get from wolves. But I could be wrong on that. Okay. And let's go check out this forest, and then... No, I don't. I do not feel like going and visiting that mine right now. So mines are really good for leveling up, but not so good for keeping all your dudes alive. Alright. But anyways, yeah, as far as what I'm trying to achieve, I'm just basically trying to get set up for what is effectively the first boss fight, which is going to happen right now. Ooh, Moonflash. Okay, that is hers. I think. Yeah, there we go. Makes her better at her job. Goody. So we're gonna save right before that first boss fight, obviously. Because as much as I love doing Iron Man runs and all that sort of thing, and I will continue on if we win and take some losses, there's a decent chance that stuff won't go so hot. So there's 2 groups in the way. There's one of those goblin groups I was talking about. We can probably win that fight, but there's really no reason to go and pick on the poor bastards, because there's some plot to happen. Right. Plus I want to hear the sweet music from the second place. The second area is just really, really nice. As far as I've seen, I believe there's 3 major zones that are already done. There might be more past that, but the most recent... Oh, wait, crap, I forgot to give everybody a nap and a snack, so they're going in hungry and tired and depressed. Whoops. Well, if this doesn't go so well for them, then, we'll see how it goes. It should just mean they have really sucky experience out of it, and I think it affects hit rate. Alright. Yeah, this is the one that kinda sorta made me think of that windmill scene. So we'll see. capture this guy and release him in just a few minutes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Everyone's talking, doing their thing. Unfortunately, the camera did not go where it should. That's fine. So we're actually going to stick back here. Ideally, getting a few units stuck in these bridges here. Best situation for this fight really is have these ones knocked out before these ones get in range. So this next turn, one of these guys, that'll be this Washmofo right over here, will essentially come in and render one of these units blind. So, ideally, I'd like that to not happen while there's encirclement going on. Okay. Yeah, there's Healing Burst, by the way. Very useful. Essentially just a free heal, so these guys have a healer on them. Wow. Okay. They're not doing so hot. Yeah, so they're getting 5 experience as opposed to the 13 they were getting before. Kinda just shows you how that experience thing goes. Okay, so that plan of mine maybe not working out so great. We might have to rely on that wolf. Some crap. Yeah, I don't have any acolytes. That would help. That would definitely help. Missed it with his sledge. You do get a sledgehammer after this. It's pretty handy. They're getting attacked on the left from the wolf, and that entire group is blind now. Great. Yeah, thankfully the wolf missed. So what I'm going to try to do is have these ones go attack this blinding squad. Hopefully they'll accomplish something. And then just have the 2 sisters hopefully tanking damage from the front. Okay. Love this music though. It's a very nice boss theme. And they've accomplished next to nothing. Oh, and they actually do have an acolyte. What am I saying? I'll just go ahead and have wrong information then. Fine. Okay. It's not terribly inspiring damage, but whatever. Yeah, I'm not too confident in these 7 being able to hold off all this. Although that fairy might be able to carry all of them. That's what I like about this. It's kind of unpredictable. Like, even when you have a rough idea of what's going on, there's still enough randomness to all of the different mechanics and everything that it just works, you know? I don't really know how better to describe that. It's just there's so many different things flying around that, you know, maybe an entire group will just get multiple crits in a row and get rid of your strongest group out of nowhere, or you know, maybe your weakest will suddenly just be surprisingly evasive. It's nice. It's nice. Right. You continue going after these guys. Hopefully they can do something. Like, as long as they're out of the way, at least the rest can do something. It does seem like they're pretty much rendered useless right now. And that's basically what illusionists do. They will completely shut down the offense of a particular group. So, alright. As long as this group goes down, I think. Yeah, that's, stand under the protection of your own courage. Yeah, that's, I'm sure that'll go ahead and stop any kind of violence from occurring. Oof. That is a crit 1. Which is not great. Okay, good. So the protected group has dragged off the wolf and has essentially caused the distraction squad over here to completely run away. So that works out. Which leaves these guys with a 7-on-4, which is perfectly fine. Yeah, they're slowly winning it. we go. Wait, she'll find me a grave man? You're a chick. Maybe there's more to that situation than we want to know. Yeah, there's more than just air dangling between the robes. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like our most accurate unit is also the least, also has the least offense on them. Yeah, illusionists are pretty friggin' strong. Like they will completely shut down an entire party. See, the nice thing is though, each of the individual units is pretty okay at being overpowered, because despite all that, you know, they can't really do a lot on their own. Like, for example, you can have acolytes and illusionists and everything else, but they can't attack anything. And you're basically giving up offense potential in that team for those buffs. Now, personally, I think if you had those two in every single team, they would be functionally unstoppable. So I don't know if there are any counters at this point, but just something to hopefully ask for. There's probably going to be some manner of reaction abilities for that. Like, I feel like maybe Grifters or something like that should be able to have a reaction where, like, maybe they put up a smoke bomb or something and they figured out how to get out of the illusions or something. Who knows? I just feel like it could have something there. Does that party not have a healer? It might not, actually. Anyway, gotta go.